Okay, this is another video. You know, as time goes, they're gonna try more and more to force you to accept this false reality. So, coming out of this place, you see, I'm walking out of this place. I have a camera on because I know what they're gonna do. They have these nasty things where they're gonna try to make me experience something degrading, unnatural, usually aimed toward children. And so they're gonna do whatever they can. As I'm saying right now, I'm at the airport. There's people around me trying to disorient me because what you see here is the things they do to me. They have these ways of forcing people to have perceptions are disturbing, right? I'm at the airport right now. Everybody around me, this ecosystem is supposed to make you accept these things. This is their job. They know that I'm not acceptive of this manipulation. They know that I've realized that it's not natural, and some of them are more extreme than others. So what you see here is me walking out of this place, the gas station. Of course, camera on, but for some reason, my camera became all blurry, and that's because my perceptions and reality are two different things. My perception can be manipulated in every disturbing ways. They can make me look at kids in every freaking way, in every possible way, in very pedophile ways. And so when I have the camera on, as much as they've manipulated my brain, reality is recorded. So sometimes I'm like, look at what they're trying to do to me. Now, in this case, my camera is blurred for some reason. I tried again, it's working perfectly now, but for some reason, let's just say maybe they had something to do with that, I don't know. But for some reason, my camera just wasn't, and it was not too far away. You see a group of people. You see like a group of like late teen, early 20s, something like that. And I was walking out. I just glanced just on the right, just quickly, and I see somebody wearing the, in the background. It's so blurred. It's all the way in the back. This person looks more like late teen, early 20s. I don't know, from 17 to 21. I can't even tell that. Like that's like the age range where you can't even tell. But they make me look at this person in such a sexual way. I noticed it was falsified. And mind you, they do that to like babies. Like babies that like kids, for sure, like they're kids, like 10-year-old. I was at the airport right now, and they were like doing that to like 13-year-old kid or whatever. And literally, I was like, it took me seconds. Like they were trying to make me look at this kid like as if I was looking at a woman. It's like, this is a kid. It's like, this is crazy. They're really trying to make me look at her, but it's disgusting. But so when you have the older kids, like either late teen or young adulthood, that is just like, I'm not gonna this is not gonna be as bad. It's gonna be bad, but it's gonna be easier for them to do. So I look back, and next thing I see, I'm seeing this person. I'm giving her late teen, early 20s. I can't even exactly tell, but I know immediately that it's falsified because they make me look at her in a sexual way. So I'm looking at her legs area and give me like this perception of sexuality. Now, it's not hard. This person could actually be an adult, but a very young one, but either late teen or early adulthood, forcing me. Now, can you imagine? Like, this is what the camera. Unfortunately, that's why I film these things, because in my mind they can create those perceptions. They obviously can make you look at a child in a sexual way. So imagine somebody who look more like an adult. It's gonna be easier to do this. So as you see that, as you can hear, also I'm at the airport, and you see people trying to make noise campaign to try to disorient me, because they want you to feel guilty for these things. They want you to like identify what the manipulations. It's obvious they do this because this is not something they just do to me. Others have said that. Now listen, if they try, they can make me look at a kid that's like 12 years old in this ways. Can you imagine an adult, like not even an adult, a late teen, who can actually pass for somebody who's like a young adult? They can easily do that. And so they forced me, and it's like, oh my gosh, I wish, and I didn't know it was gonna be blurred until I looked back, because I was like, oh, let me take a picture of that and show what they do, because I always show the things they do to me, because they want you to identify and like, oh, you see, I try. It's like, no, you stimulate people, you force people to have perceptions. How do I know that? Because some other woman in South Florida is talking about the same thing, literally saying they aim this program perversion toward young people and children, specializing on teenagers. Now listen, you can make me perceive a kid that's 10 years old in a sexual way. I was walking by this like 9-year-old kid. They were trying to make me look at it in a sexual way. So it could be easy, because It's what this is somebody who looks like an adult. I'm so it's frustrating that I was not able to take the film. My camera did not film properly. It's frustrating because it tells a different story. Reality is in my mind. It can create perception, and so you can see this blur white person over there, like a white person wearing white t-shirt, blurred. You can see like based on the height and everything, you can almost tell like you could think that she's a young adult or whatever, but there's not much you can tell. For me, it took me 2 seconds. I glared, and you can even hear me responding. It's like, oh, that was that quick. You literally can hear me say like be like, oh, because that second it was like just I got that perception. I was like, oh, it's so falsified. Because I know it's just you cannot. There's no way I can have that quick of a perception of a person that fast. It's like they forced me to just like, okay, look at her legs and eyes in these ways, and it's like, oh, too forced. I know. Regardless of how old she is, this is a forced perception. And so I recognize this shit for what it is. But they hate this because they want you to identify. Now I understand. Perceptions as one of the things they can manipulate. And so I recognize it. Even let's just say it's an adult woman. I've noticed like even when they do that to like a woman who's like, that is an adult woman, it's like, nope, this is falsified. This is when you make me have these extra perceptions that I would not naturally have. And they're like, yeah, you're trying to say different scripts. They say, oh, white girls or whatever. It's like, shit the fuck. Like, this is the pedophile things you do. And I don't even know if it's pedophile, because in this case, I don't even know if she's actually a kid or not. I mean, she could be a young adult. Which this is a whole different thing. They do that to babies like 12 years old. They're like 10-year-old, like obvious children. Like, this like look like a freaking middle schooler. I'm looking at it, like, are you serious? Try to make me look at her in a sexual way. You have to be strong, because they're gonna try to break you down. But as long as I can show, listen, that blur over there, that picture, that's yeah. You can even literally hear me reacting to it. It's like, oh, that's live, real-time reaction. And they're like, no, they'll see you. They prove they caught you. I was like, dude, this is my 1000th video. Why do you think I record things at this point? Because they try to create a reality that's falsified. If they can do that to a baby, what do you think they can do to somebody who actually can pass for somebody who's maybe a young adult? So you gotta be strong. It's like, you just messing with me. And so, regardless of the scripts and repetition, stay strong and understand that the manipulations are what they are. Don't find validations on others. Their job is to break you down into accepting things. Somebody can tell you that's you. It's like, no, I know who I am. I know what my experience is falsified. You're doing that to much younger kids. This is obviously much easier. And this is somebody who, with that glance I had, hard to tell. That's why I rely on pictures, on videos, because my perception, my mind is a whole different thing. A 9-year-old kid, they try to make me look at it in a sexual way. So imagine some late teen, early 20s looking person. If I don't take my time and so from this point on, I don't care how stupid it's gonna look like. I'm gonna sit there, make sure that the video captured properly, and be sure to record when they try to manipulate me. Because my perception is for them to manipulate. So be strong and see what this is about.
Torture that I've taken, and all you are going to hear is aggravation for every single second of my privacy that you have taken away from me and my family. Ben said the slaves began a program of perversion. First was with my dog. I am very playful with my pet, and suddenly one day that I was petting him I felt strange, in the sense of the word. I thought, this is strange, and then afterwards that strange sensation continue. Then in that moment I realized that was impost, so I thought, look at this losers, don't know how to put me down, and they are doing this. So I told them that I know what you are trying to do, and I started laughing. And then I said again out loud, "You'll never take my will, ass." So just to show them that I meant what I said, I kept playing with my dog, and even though that attacks continue, I don't let them get me. Today, they continue with the programming of perversion, but this time they are aiming in the use. A people, better said young people, also children and homosexuals.